don't really know where to begin. It's been a rough couple of years. I guess we'll start at the very beginning. In late summer 2022, I was scrolling through YouTube, as I usually do. Sometimes I look for spiritual stuff, sometimes I look at political stuff, sometimes I look at financial stuff, sometimes I look at cars, sometimes I watch goofy stuff. On this very night after work, came across a woman, speaking about God. Now, this woman's name is Shantia Deja, she calls herself on YouTube. I have no idea if that's a real name. Probably not. She's a fraud. Name's probably fake too. In the process of this, I watched a few videos, made a few comments. She started taking little words out of things that I said. I didn't care. She wasn't even leaving a like on a comment. I didn't really even care about that. Things changed in December 2022. I had told my friend, my best friend of 30 years, about this exchange between me and this woman online. Not really sure if he got jealous or what. He started talking about it to other people. He found Bryan Kohberger online. Well, Bryan Kohberger found him through some Reddit post saying he wanted to help violent felons get a college education or some bullshit. It was all a lie. He was trying to manipulate them into either committing murder or suicide or something. I don't know. Leads us to December 22. Sorry. That's a little fucked up today. It's been a rough day. We'll get to that. It's going to be a long video. It'll be broken down into many parts. So, December of 22 comes along. And Shantia posts a video. God said it's settled. Very disturbing video. You can see she's clearly shaking. You should go watch it. I tried to get a hold of her. Tried to email her. Nothing. This was right before Christmas. I told my friend to watch the video. Didn't hear back from him for days. 3 days to be exact. So I went to leave my house one night. Lo and behold, he texted me, "Hey." So I hopped in the car with him on the truck. Took him for a ride. Weird thing though, he started acting very strange. He was an old drug user. I didn't, life after opiate addiction. We're all old drug users, right? So I figured he had just fallen off the wagon. I really wasn't concerned about it, stress from the holidays and all. He was talking weird. Get out on the back roads like us Wisconsin boys like to do. And weird thing happens. The Wi-Fi network in my Denali pops up. Weird thing about that, I don't have Wi-Fi. Truck's Wi-Fi capable. Got rid of it because it was trash. It was better off with my 4G and my Samsung. It's quicker, especially when I was out working in the middle of nowhere. But that's beside the point. So, dog's acting fishy. Thing pops up. This is too much for me, man. There's too many red flags. It was Shantia acting crazy, not being able to get a hold of her. So, drop him off. And I start to address the truck. Now somebody's listening and I know it. And I knew they were listening through the phone. The reason they started the Wi-Fi in the truck is because I couldn't hear it through the phone because I had the music up. I couldn't hear what we were saying. So they had to tap the Wi-Fi in order to get into the OnStar speaker. That's how it all started. Boop boop. Popped up. They didn't think I'd notice, but I did. The day I refer to is the Biden administration's FBI. That's the day. I had no idea what they wanted at the time. Knew it was the government. I was like, well, there's somebody's listening. It's got to be the government. So I went down the street to the local gas station. I sat and I waited. Like, hey, what you guys out here? You come talk to me? I don't know what's going on. There was some weird stuff. There's some exchange between me and Shitty. I was trying to get this YouTube page going. And we kind of had a little thing. I thought we was flirting a little bit. Turns out I was wrong. Don't matter. That's beside the point. Water on his bridge. All is forgiven on that front. She can stay over there. So we advance a few days. I know the feds are listed. Oh, well, let's go back to that night. Hold on. So, December 23rd, 2022. This is about 7, 8 o'clock. I'm at the gas station. I was like, man, ain't nobody coming. Nobody saying nothing. I'm talking. Nobody's coming. Unlock the door to the truck. It's like, hey, you want to talk to me? I'm sitting right here. Nobody came. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go on my way. So I pull out the gas station. I hang a right. I was going to a specific place. I won't mention where I was going in this video. The feds know. Apparently, my friend knew too. He called me. What are you doing? I'm on my way over here. He said, well, I said jumper cables. Well, yeah, I got jumper. I'm prepared for everything. Of course I got jumper cables. He knew that. He wanted to meet me at my house. Okay. But in the meantime, I'm agitated. I'm agitated. I don't know what's going on. Nobody's talking to me. He's acting funny. Now he wants jumper cables in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just odd. Like, I was just with you 10 minutes ago and I dropped you off. You was looking for an excuse to stay. And I dropped you off. And now you calling me right back. Like, the whole thing is just odd as shit. So I hop out the truck. And I got all this on camera. On my Blink, I got it saved on my phone. They tried to fuck with me tonight. I was gonna smash the phone, but they put a little wrench in the plan, so we're not gonna be able to do that. Just gonna let cooler heads prevail. Let these motherfuckers know who they're really fucking with. So that night, I could feel him moving, kind of fishy behind me, and I got this chill at my spine. And I was like, you know what? I don't have no jumper cables. I closed the hatch to the truck, bounce out. I skirted off on him. Gabe, Gabe. Look, Gabe, that's funny. I think Gabe's got a thing or two to say too. For sure. So I skirted off on him, and didn't hear much from him for a few days after that. I called him out. I knew he betrayed me, and I called him out that night. And I think this shocked some people. I was somehow able to foil my own murder plot. See, that's the thing is Kohberger had 5 victims. There's 5 private Kohberger victims. I'm the 5th. Hello, my name's Will. I'm the surviving Kohberger victim. There's 5 of us. I'm the reason that Brian Kohberger's case is suppressed from the media. I'm the reason nobody knows about this shit. I'm the reason they cover it up. I'm also the reason the FBI is under new management. Ain't that crazy? We toppled an empire in the process. It's a long story. We're going to be here a while. So, let's get back to, we have December. Christmas. Oh, we'll go to Christmas. So, Christmas comes around. There's some little details in there we're not going to get into right now. Moral of the story is, Christmas night, I go to another friend's house. I haven't left my house. Right? I'm paranoid now. I feel like something's up. Being watched. The friend's acting fishy. Call him out on his bullshit. Now he's not answering his phone. That's a long story too. So I go to my friend's house. And I'm a smoker. I'm a weed smoker. And was out of weed. I hadn't left my house. He said he smoked me down. All right, cool. So I go there to smoke. And I started feeling funny. Took a couple hits. Felt weird. But he gave me the rest of the weed. Here, just a little bud. But not even a gram. Like, here, you can have this. Take it home with you. Alright. So I got home. I felt funny. Not like no weed. See, the thing about me is, I was a heroin addict. This whole thing started because of that. I have 8.5 years in recovery at this point in time. The funny feeling that the weed had, yeah, that was fentanyl. Someone laced the weed with fentanyl. Thankfully, it wasn't enough to do any real damage, and I noticed. There's telltale signs. Knew it was fentanyl, wore off very, very quickly, and withdrawal set in pretty fast. That's probably because of my past. So things just kept getting stranger and stranger. I tossed the weed when I went to work the next day. But I don't know what this is about. So I tossed the weed. Should have kept it for evidence, but I didn't. We go ahead a few more days to December 31st. They decide to release a statement regarding Bryan Kohberger, saying that he's been captured and that they believe that he has sent some message out via the internet to violent felons, asking them, and this is a quote from the lady in the FBI, how it feels to commit murder. That's her words, not mine. I think that there was on Fox News in the afternoon, and what I believe was that was my one and only chance at figuring it out for myself. Because see, after they found out, they realized that I'm a voter. I'm a voter. Hey guys, I'm an American citizen and I like to vote. But see, the thing about me is, I was a degenerate drug addict for a very, 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 very long time. So I didn't start voting until 2020. In the 2020 election, I voted for Mr. Trump. In the 2022 election, the 2-year midterms, I voted Republican down the line. When they found this out, I believe that their plan was to make me snap. They didn't want a Trump voter or a Christian publicized 2 years before an election, especially when he voted for the man that they're trying to demonize to the whole world, right? I mean, come on. It only makes sense to suppress the story because it doesn't make you look very good, especially when I go a little bit further. So I read up on this Kohberger a little bit, and he's got a friend, and he says, I just can't believe that he would do this. This could happen to anyone. If this could happen to him, it could happen to anyone. See, Mr. Kohberger was a highly intelligent man. He was studying to be an FBI agent, an FBI criminal. He's I don't know, something in criminology. He had PhD. He's a career student, been handed everything his whole life. You know, one job at a fish market in high school. Guy's broken. He's been broken since he's like 16. And everybody missed it. That's the thing. He just flew under the radar with no friends, and everybody missed it. Just him broken as hell. And so they tried to make him seem like he wasn't broken, because see, that this was going to be bad publicity, not only for, the FBI, but it was also good publicity for Trump. As a Trump voter, obviously I was going to be a Trump supporter, and I was also a fifth victim, which means there was probably going to be some monetary value to my story. Get where I'm going with this? They were trying to stop me because of who I supported politically. So, Bryan Kohberger through all his wisdom, hacked one of those girls' phones in Idaho. He watched every move she made from outside the house. It looks like he had a little perch out there, too. I believe this is what he did to me as well. He hacked my phone. When the feds found out about it, figured out what he was going to do, they figured, well, we can make him snap. And that's what they did. They used gaslighting techniques to try to make me snap day after day, not knowing, uh, false hope. They use Shantia in a million different ways, but there's also there's a lot of other stuff they did. They screwed with my internet. This whole phone is a mess. I can't do anything without them inside of it. If you look at my other videos, they spell the word die 4 times in a wordscape in 3 levels. You know, it's ridiculous. They repeat songs time after time. Like I played a song the other day, and then they repeated a song, and then they repeated another song. I showed my PO. I'm on probation now because of this whole shit. I went to the police. This gets further out in the story, but this I'm just explaining the type of stuff they do, and they used to play songs just over and over and over again, trying to make me snap, just constantly. And and they've also given my information to everybody on social media. Anyone that has a social media account knows exactly who I am. It's just the people on the other side of the glass that don't. Except for some of them do, and they just ignore it. This whole thing has gotten to be such a joke. Millions of taxpayer dollars, and they follow me around with the police. I have no idea why. There's police everywhere I go, except for now they pulled them all off. I think they call it security. Now it's gone, which is fine. Keep them over there because there's terrorist attacks attached to this shit, which I'll get into. So I don't really want the police anywhere near me because if I get hit, somebody else is gonna get hit. So I'd rather just have first responders out of the way so they can protect and serve the community like they're paid to do. So they don't have to deal with me in this nonsense that Democrat Washington, D.C. started. So we'll go ahead a few months. I was tortured endlessly for months. We get to March. February, finally decide to go to the FBI. Shantia encourages me. Baby, if they won't put you in a room, put yourself in a room. That's what she said one Friday. So, okay. Well, you know what that means. She wants me to go to the FBI. So I did. The thing about that is, the day I went to the FBI, there was a school shooting in Tennessee that had an awful lot of similarities to my life. I could point them all out here, but we're already at 18 minutes. So we'll just continue on. I went to the FBI. They gave me no information, told me they didn't know what I was talking about. And when I came home, I found out that there was a school shooting in Tennessee with several things that were similar to my life. I got a little upset. I went to the police station to try to get them to help me stop this. I probably didn't do it in a perfect way, but hey, they had been ignoring me and following me around at the same time. Shit's kind of crazy. So when I went there and mentioned these things, they just ignored me. They actually arrested me for marijuana. They arrested me for marijuana. I spent the night in jail, bonded out. And this whole time, the FBI and Shantia are stringing me along. They're trying to make me seem like if I could just come up with that one big post to just go viral. That's the whole thing. If you could just get one post, Will, you're just not good enough, Will. Just one more post. You're just not. She just kept, you're just not good enough. So I tagged a wall in town. Hashtag life after opiate addiction. Will love Shantia, all kind of stuff. Free Mike the Truth wall is I tagged that bitch up in blue. I don't regret it. But they found out who I was, and instead of going viral, The police came to my house. I went on a run. I went to California for a year. I found a job out there. And all the nonsense continued, and even more. Um, till December of 23, when I finally had enough of Shantia for good. And I kicked it to the curb. And they weren't happy about it. The day after I kicked it to the curb, lo and behold, they picked me up out of an out-of-state marijuana warrant in California. Because the police officers in San Diego, California have nothing better to do than pick a man up on a non-violent marijuana warrant and take him to their already packed jail. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense, doesn't it? Well, thankfully for me, God is awesome. I mean, I could explain to you about a million different ways, but I'll just tell you this one. My boss bonded me up. They tried to screw with me. But I was such a hard worker. I was such a monster at my job that my newfound boss wasn't willing to let me sit in jail. Not even for $5,000. They told me it was $500. They told me I'd get out for $500 so I could fight exercise. Boom, sold. And then they sent me to Bailey, and they got me sitting on a bunk surrounded by a bunch of Aryans and shit. I think they tried to make me snap. They wanted me to snap. They wanted me to hang out with these Aryan dudes. I don't get down like that. I'd never have been down with anything like that. There's nothing like that in my history. I don't do well with those guys. That's why they call us lone wolves. I don't think like them. Many of them. You can't align me by race. I'm not looking at your skin. I'm looking at your eyes. I'm looking at your body movements. I'm reading your soul. I don't give a fuck what color your skin is. But I got out. Praise be to God. $5,000. Then I knew my clock was ticking. Shit, now I gotta go back to Wisconsin. So I put in a few more days worth of work. Tried to make it. But we were in a hell of a project. But I had to go. So I left. Came back home. Entire life was just like I found it. Wasn't even anything out of place except for a couple things. I started over. The nonsense continued. The gaslighting continued. We're fighting to win the election. I'm sitting here stumping every day, so that's what people don't understand. I haven't even gotten into it. Everyone in Washington, D.C., all the politicians, every singer, every person on social media, they all know exactly who I am. They've all stolen words from me. Words that I say sitting here alone in a room through a phone with no app running, through a warrantless surveillance. That's the key there. This is warrantless. This could literally happen to anyone. They didn't have a justification for it. This is all done through warrantless surveillance. And they take my words, and so and to get our cause, to get us across the finish line, if I was helping, great. I didn't really care. I found a new job. I was doing well. And then even the new job started in on it. You could tell they were being used. It's not hard for me to figure out. They got the same MO over and over and over again, and I'm not going to get into it. It's already going to be a half an hour video. But I found another job, and it went well for a little bit. I had to quit. Because they just keep with the same stuff. Overstress you. Gaslight you. Never leave you alone. Just bother you. Good days, bad days. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. So when we got close to inauguration day, I just said, fuck it. I'm not going back to work. So I'm just going to sit this one out, man. Inauguration day came and went. No change. Well, sit it out, Will. Stuff's still the same. Except for now, there's planes going down. Those planes, they're being sabotaged. The one in Washington, D.C. was clearly a terrorist attack. Our government knows it was a terrorist attack. Democrats refuse to acknowledge it. It's the time attached to it. It's all over my social media. 848 for 2 years. Those numbers are attached to me. You know how many eights there are in the world? Look at all the eights. Go look at all the eights you see in the world. People say 8. You see it everywhere. Why? You're looking at why. The FBI leaked my information to terrorists and everybody else, and they refuse to acknowledge it. And now here we sit on the cusp of new leadership and nothing has changed. The weekend, what? You leave them out, leave me out here. I'm just supposed to go to work and die? Like, I don't really understand what's being asked of me at this point. What do you really expect?